Life in prison. Felony murder. In California, 3 young men are serving life in prison. They were all found guilty of murder, even though only one of them actually did the killing, and the other two swear they didn't even know he had a weapon, let alone that he would kill somebody. פסקה שנייה. How does that happen? It's the law. The felony murder rule law. But this old law is under new attack, as well as vigorous defense, because of cases like Brandon Hayne, a teenager who went looking for marijuana and ended up in prison for life. פסקה שלישית. The felony murder law, which goes all the way back to Old English law, treats people who are guilty of lesser crimes as murderers if they are with murderers when the murder occurs, reports Dan Rather. פסקה רביעית. Hayne was 17 in 1995 when he and some teenage friends got into a fistfight. One of those friends pulled out a knife and ended up killing another teenager. All 4 are now serving life sentences. פסקה חמישית. It began on the kind of day dreaded by parents of troubled teenagers. 5 of the boys were drinking alcohol and driving around their mostly safe suburbs near Los Angeles. פסקה שישית. In the afternoon, they stopped in a parking lot. One of them grabbed a wallet, which turned out to be empty, from inside a car. The owner, a mother playing nearby with her 2 kids, cornered them and demanded her wallet returned. Another boy cursed at her and allegedly hit her car. פסקה שביעית. The 5 drove off, this time to find some marijuana. They went to the home of the neighborhood drug dealer, another high school teenager named Mike McLaurin, who sold marijuana from one-room structure in his mother's backyard. McLaurin's friend and neighbor, 15-year-old Jimmy Ferris, was with him that day. פסקה שמינית. One of the teens stayed with a pickup truck. The others, including Hayne, Jason Holland, 18, and his 15-year-old brother Micah, approached Mike McLaurin's shed, which was called the Fort. Jason Holland says he was drunk. אני מדלג לפסקה 11. Mike McLaurin was on top of my brother, Jason says. He wasn't listening, so I pulled a knife and I stabbed him. פסקה 12, אני קורא רק אותיות גדולות. פונט גדול. After stabbing McLaurin, Jason stabbed McLaurin's friend Jimmy Ferris. McLaurin survived. Ferris did not. פסקה 13. Mike Latin and Jeff Semo, the 2 Los Angeles deputy district attorneys who prosecuted the case, charged each teen under the felony murder rule under the theory that they went to the place where the murder occurred with the intention of robbing the victims. פסקה 15. Semo says the rule is designed as a warning to those who would participate in gang robberies. They are not going to be able to hide behind the defense saying, "But the other guy actually pulled the trigger," if in fact the victim was killed, he says. פסקה 16. For the felony murder rule to apply, prosecutors had to prove that a felony occurred. Without that, the felony murder rule could not apply. פסקה 17. All the defendants deny intending to rob the marijuana. 18. But the jury did not believe him. Instead, jurors were jurors were convicted. Jurors were convinced the snatching of the mother's wallet earlier in the day indicated they also plotted to rob drug dealer Mike McLaurin. 19. The teenagers' families were stunned when they heard the verdicts and the sentences. Jason Holland and Brandon Hayne were convicted of murder and got life without the possibility of parole. Mika was convicted of murder and got 29 years to life. פסקה 20. The fourth defendant, Anthony Miliotti, 17, got life without the possibility of parole, even though he stood at the door and never got into the fight. The fifth teen, who stayed with the truck, pled guilty and was sentenced to 9 years. פסקה 21. Brandon's parents, Jean Hayne and Patch Kretschk, say their son is being punished for something he did not do. 22. Jeff Layden speaks for the group when he charges that their boys were punished not for what they did, but for who was killed, the son of a 30-year veteran of the Los Angeles Police Department. מדלג ל-27. England, where the felony rule began, took it off the books in 1957, believing it is wrong to punish someone who intends to rob as severely as someone who intends to kill. Many states have followed suit. California is not one of them.